The year was 1967. Psychedelic rock was all the rage, and to create all those spectral sounds, musicians needed a tonal manipulator capable of matching their creativity. The Moog 907 fixed filter bank allowed these synthesis to play with a spectrum of sound like never before. But as the name might suggest, the filters were fixed, limiting the tones it could achieve. To unleash the full spectrum of sound, Moog has now released the Spectravox. The Moog Spectravox is a semi-modular analog spectral processor. And if that sounds super cool, it's because it is. The Spectravox features an all-analog signal path that's based around a 10-band filter bank. Unlike the fixed filter banks of yesteryear, the Moog Spectravox's filters aren't fixed in place. They can jointly shift around the frequency space, allowing you to create otherworldly, voltage-controlled tones. You can get all sorts of lovely drones, colorful tonal sweeps, and plenty of depth and psychedelic tonal movement that musicians in the 60s could only dream of. The Spectravox features a combo XLR jack program input, so it's compatible with nearly any modern dynamic microphone or preamplified instrument. You can use it as a synth voice, CV filter bank, or a vocoder using the 36 patch points, including 19 inputs and 17 outputs, to unlock virtually unlimited sonic exploration possibilities. Just plug in and start making sounds. But the Spectravox isn't just a fancy CV filter bank and synth engine. You can also use it to transform your voice as a vocoder. Some might call the sound pleasantly lo-fi, reminiscent of the original vocoder designs from nearly 100 years ago. You can take the fun to a whole new level by connecting a synth with a CV output. I'm going to use the CV out of the Sakai MPK Mini Plus into the 1 volt per octave patch input on the Spectravox. That way, I can get the vocoder pitch to follow the note I'm playing on the synth. From there, you can start playing around with the carrier and VCO frequency to create even more diverse tones. There's literally no limit to the number of sounds you can make. Want to harness the power of power? See this trigger button on the left? You can use it to control voltage spikes with a tap of a button for crazy new tones on cue. And if you already have an external trigger you like to use, there's also a trigger input for even easier control. The Spectravox is a serious piece of gear that comes with a lot of fancy controls and capabilities. And you might think it'll take a lifetime to learn what all the buttons, inputs, and knobs do, but Moog thought of that, and that's why they included these handy preset overlays. The preset overlays give patching instructions and starting controls for the knobs, just to lower the learning curve a little bit and make sure that you can start making all sorts of wild tones right out of the box. Easily use the Spectravox as a standalone unit with the included 12-volt power supply, just like we did here, or remove the front panel to install in any Eurorack system. It's the perfect accompaniment to any synthesists, electronic musicians, sound designers, or studio owners. The Spectravox was initially released as a limited edition for Moog Fest, but it was so good that Moog just couldn't keep it for themselves. And now, you can get the updated version of the Moog Spectravox for yourself right here at AmericanMusical.com.